On August 19, 1953, the Central Intelligence Agency was 36 hours into a covert operation to overthrow the democratically elected government of Iran. The operation was failing. A coded message was sent from Washington to Tehran. The order was simple: abort, get out. The plan had collapsed. The CIA's man on the ground in Tehran read the message and ignored it. What happened next created modern Iran. The Islamic Revolution, the hostage crisis, the sanctions. 70 years of hostility between two countries that almost never come up in the same sentence without a war drum somewhere in the background. And the United States buried the operational record for 60 years. This is Forbidden File 1. The man at the center of it was Mohammad Mossadegh, the elected Prime Minister of Iran. A nationalist with a doctorate in law, deeply respected, personally incorruptible. In 1951, his parliament voted to nationalize Iran's oil, taking it back from a British company that had controlled it for 50 years, refused to let Iran audit the books, and decided what cut Iran received. That company is still around today. You know it as BP. Mossadegh signed the nationalization into law. The British demanded the Americans help them undo it. For 2 years, the Truman administration refused. Then Eisenhower took office. And the answer changed. The operation was codenamed Ajax. The architect was a CIA officer named Kermit Roosevelt Jr., grandson of President Theodore Roosevelt. The plan, according to the CIA's own declassified records, had 3 pieces: bribe Iranian newspaper editors to publish anti-Mossadegh content. Hundreds of articles were planted. The going rate, per the files, was a few $100s per editor. Pay senior Iranian clerics. A declassified British memo confirmed the US Embassy transferred large sums of cash to religious leaders in the final days before the coup. The clerics, in exchange, would turn their congregations against Mossadegh and hire the Tehran mob. CIA money went to the most feared organized crime figures in the city. Their job was to stage pro-Shah riots, a fake popular uprising. CIA-paid men were trucked into central Tehran, where they burned shops, attacked Mossadegh supporters, and seized government buildings. The narrative sold to the world and held for 60 years was that Mossadegh had been deposed by his own people. According to the CIA's own records, that narrative was a fabrication. Here is the part almost no one outside the intelligence history community knows. The first attempt failed. On August 15th, officers loyal to the CIA faction tried to arrest Mossadegh. Mossadegh's military intelligence had been tipped off. The arresting officers were themselves arrested. The Shah, who had been complicit, panicked and fled the country. Washington watched it collapse in real time. Headquarters cabled Tehran, ordering Roosevelt to abandon the operation and get out. The risk of exposure was too high. Roosevelt read the cable, and he made a decision. He stayed. Over the next 72 hours, working from a basement in the US Embassy, he activated his backup network. The bribed clerics issued sermons. The mobsters flooded the streets. The bribed newspapers ran extra editions. And on the morning of August 19th, what the world saw, what the world was told it was seeing, was a popular Iranian uprising in support of their Shah, against a foreign-aligned prime minister. By that afternoon, Mossadegh was under arrest. The Shah was on a plane back to Tehran. The CIA's chosen replacement was Prime Minister. The officer who had been ordered to leave had instead succeeded. For the next 26 years, Iran was effectively a US client state. The Shah ruled with American weapons, American intelligence support, and a secret police force trained partly by the CIA. Mossadegh was tried for treason and spent his remaining 14 years under house arrest. Then 1979 happened. The Shah was overthrown by an Islamic Revolution, led in part by the cleric networks that had grown in the vacuum left after Mossadegh's secular nationalism was destroyed. Within a year, the new Iranian government had seized the US Embassy in Tehran and taken 52 Americans hostage for 444 days. That hostage crisis broke a US presidency. It defined American politics for a generation. Every American sanction on Iran, every Israeli strike on Iranian nuclear facilities, every proxy war fought across Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, All of it traces back, in an unbroken political line, to one CIA officer in a basement in 1953 who decided not to read the cable that told him to come home. The CIA officially admitted its role in 2013, 60 years after the coup. Its own historian called Operation Ajax the agency's first successful overthrow of a foreign government. It was also the template. Guatemala 1954, Brazil 1964, Chile 1973. The methods refined in Tehran were exported across 3 continents. The Iranian government has, since 1979, used the coup as a foundational political document. It is taught in Iranian schools. It is the explanation Iran offers for why it does not trust the West. That explanation is, based on the declassified record, accurate. The forbidden file is no longer forbidden. The consequences of it being forbidden for 60 years, those are still unfolding. Forbidden File 1, closed. Subscribe to Country Cipher, and the next forbidden file drops first to you.